Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Hastuti and I am a student of English Education, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education at Universitas Sulawesi Barat. Today, I am going to present my final project for the Speaking for Academic Purposes course. In this presentation, I will talk about post-pandemic teaching challenges. I chose this topic because the COVID-19 pandemic has deeply impacted the education system around the world, including in Indonesia, and it is very important for us as future educators to understand the challenges and how to overcome them. So, without further ado, let's begin the presentation. In this part, I would like to introduce the topic and the purpose of this presentation. The topic I chose is Challenges in Post-Pandemic Teaching, and it is based on an interview I conducted with Ms. Fajriani SSMA as a lecturer in English Education. I found this topic very relevant because even though the pandemic is over, teachers are still dealing with long-term impacts, such as low student motivation, digital fatigue, and the challenge of adapting to hybrid learning. That's why the main objectives of this presentation are: first, to understand the key challenges that teachers face after the pandemic, and second, to explore possible strategies to improve the teaching and learning process in this new normal era. As future teachers, I believe this topic helps us reflect on how to be more prepared and adaptable in facing changes in education. Let's move on to the next part. In this part, I like to talk about how the pandemic affected education. As we all know, when the pandemic hit, everything suddenly shifted to online learning. This change happened so fast, and both teachers and students had to quickly adjust to using technology. But the problem was, not all students had the same access to internet or digital tools. Because of that, learning became a big challenge for many. One of the most obvious impacts was learning loss. Many students feel behind, and the gap between high and low achieving students got even bigger. The pandemic also affected mental health. A lot of students felt stressed or isolated, and teachers also faced burnout from trying to manage everything online. When face-to-face classes started again, the classroom atmosphere had changed. Teachers noticed that students' motivation, behavior, and expectations were different from before. So, even though the pandemic is over, its effects are still felt in education today, and they continue to be a challenge for both teachers and students. Now, let's talk about the challenges that teachers faced after the pandemic. One big challenge is adjusting to new teaching models. Many schools now use hybrid or blended learning, which means mixing online and offline methods. This can be hard for teachers who were used to traditional classroom settings. Next, there's the issue of rebuilding students' motivation after learning from home for so long. Many students became less active and less engaged in class. So teachers now have to work harder to make learning fun and interactive again. Another challenge is that students have different learning needs after the pandemic. Some students fell behind, while others keep up or even improve. Teachers have to find ways to support everyone, even if their levels are different. Also, the students and teachers often feel screen fatigue. We have been staring at screens for hours every day, and it can cause stress, tired eyes, and loss of focus. Plus, dealing with so much technology at once can be overwhelming. So overall, Post-pandemic teaching is not easy. Teachers have to adapt, stay creative, and support students in many different ways. In this part, I will talk about some common struggles that teachers face, especially during remote learning. The first challenge is the difficulty in delivering interactive or hands-on lessons. Because of technology limitations and cycle distance, it became harder for teachers to create fun and engaging learning experiences. Second, there's the issue of low student participation and inconsistent attendance. Many students were not active in class or didn't show up at all due to personal problems, lack of motivation, or their home environment. Third, internet access problems and digital inequality were also serious challenges. Not all students had stable internet connections or proper devices to fully join online learning. Lastly, there was inconsistent assessment during remote learning. It was difficult for teachers to evaluate students fairly because of limited interaction and challenges in tracking student progress. These struggles show that the teaching during the pandemic was not just about moving everything online. It required major adjustment in teaching methods and strategies. In this section, I want to explain how technology and teaching methods should go hand in hand, especially after the pandemic. First, digital tools should support, not replace active learning. This means technology should help students participate more, not just make them passive listeners. Next, it is important to encourage collaboration through online platforms. Tools like Google Classroom, Padlet, or Zoom breakout rooms can help students work together even when learning remotely. Another key point is to train teachers in digital literacy and flexible teaching strategies. Teachers need to know how to use teach tools well and also how to adjust their methods for different situations, whether online, offline, or hybrid. Finally, we must combine synchronous and asynchronous methods effectively. For example, a live Zoom class or synchronous can be followed by video lessons or assignments that students do in their own time, or asynchronous. When used together, these methods can make learning more flexible and student-friendly. So, the main idea is not just using technology, but using it wisely to enhance the learning process. The COVID-19 pandemic significantly disrupted the education system, leading to lasting changes in how teaching and learning take place. As schools return to in-person or hybrid settings, both teachers and students are experiencing various challenges that must be addressed to ensure effective learning. Let's take a look at three main challenges in post-pandemic classrooms and how we can respond to them. The first, emotional and social adjustment of students. Many students struggle with emotional and social skills after months of isolation and online learning. For the solution, schools should implement social emotional learning, or SEL, programs to help students rebuild their confidence, manage emotions, and interact positively with others. Second, unequal access to learning resources. Not all students have access to stable internet or digital devices, which creates a learning gap. For the solution, teachers can provide offline materials and allow flexible options to ensure equal opportunities for all students. Third, teacher burnout. The sudden shift in teaching methods, along with increased responsibilities, has caused many teachers to feel overwhelmed. For the solution, schools must support teachers by offering professional development and managing workloads more reasonably. In today's rapidly evolving educational landscape, the role of future educators goes beyond just delivering lessons. Teachers need to be adaptable, innovative, and genuinely care about their students' development. Here are a few key points that future educators should keep in mind. For the first, teachers must be flexible and open to innovation. With ongoing change in technology and teaching methods, educators should be willing to explore new approaches that better meet students' needs. Second, it is important to prioritize student well-being both emotionally and socially. This means teachers should not only focus on academic outcomes but also offer personal support to help students feel comfortable, confident, and motivated to learn. Next, technology should be viewed as teaching partner, not a replacement. While it can enrich the learning experience, human interaction remains a crucial element that technology alone cannot provide. Lastly, teachers should stay updated with the latest trends and research in education. This helps ensure that their teaching practice remain effective, relevant, and aligned with the evolving needs of students. In today's evolving educational landscape, the role of teachers is shifting in several important ways. Here are some key implications. First, continuous need for professional development. Teachers must engage in ongoing learning to stay updated with changes in curriculum, technology, and teaching methods that align with modern educational demands. Second, stronger collaboration between teachers, parents, and policymakers. Educational success requires joint efforts. Effective communication and collaboration among educators, families, and decision makers are essential for creating a supportive learning environment. Third, shift from performance focus to holistic student development. Education today emphasizes not just academic achievement, but also students' emotional, social, and life skills. Teachers are expected to guide students in developing as whole individuals. 4. Redefining the teacher's role in digital and hybrid environments. With the rise of digital and hybrid learning models, teachers are evolving from traditional knowledge transmitters to facilitators, mentors, and learning designers in both physical and virtual settings. So, the conclusion, the pandemic has brought permanent change to the field of education. This change requires educators to quickly adapt and rethink their roles. However, challenges can also open doors to growth and innovation. Teachers must be empowered to lead in this new educational era, especially in navigating digital and flexible learning models. Strong collaboration among teachers, students, and stakeholders is essential. Additionally, empathy and understanding should become central to post-pandemic teaching approaches, ensuring learning remains meaningful and inclusive.